All right. Well, I know we have the recording starting for all of the participants that can't make it today and will be rewatching on their own time. We do have a few questions from people like that, and we have some questions to start off with today. But to introduce myself, hello, everybody. My name is Brandy Chartingo, and I'm the individual giving manager with Shichungu Co. Um, this is our very first Ask Me Anything event happening. They'll be going into, geez, we have them scheduled into October. We have our entire ecosystem to go through, our beautifully diverse ecosystem. Everybody's going to have their chance to get on and do exactly what Clay will be doing today. So Clay Colombe, our CEO, he's our first guest. Um, I will let you introduce yourself, Clay. We'll start there and then we'll hop into things.
Thank you, Brandy, and thanks for setting these up. It's really important for us to not only highlight the work that we're doing, but the people and the team members that are doing it. But I am Clay Colombe. I'm the CEO of the Sichonguko ecosystem. I am a enrolled Rosebud Sioux tribal member, born and raised here. I'm also a Nimi Poo on my mother's side. We've been with the company now for just over 7 years. Started out as the CFO. Was working in our Rapid City location, and when my predecessor, Weezy Paul Little Elk, took a job with the Biden administration, was honored with the promotion of getting promoted to CEO. And when that happened, me and my family moved back down here to be in the headquarters. Glad to be home, and yeah, very excited about this and everything we got going forward. But it's been an honor to work for this organization, not only as CEO, but as CFO, to do the work that we can for Oyate, but also to work with a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome things. So.
Yeah, yep, you make a great point. We definitely do want to do work like this. This is an amazing opportunity. I'm glad we were able to pull it together. It feels like just yesterday, me and Erin were meeting and thinking about this idea, and here we are doing our first one. And I'm sure we'll find our footing and these will be a breeze and they'll be so fun and I won't be like nervous at all. Okay, but we can jump right into some starter questions then, because I know we're going to be going for an hour or so, so I want you to be able to take your time answering any questions. So we'll jump right in. So you did share a little bit about yourself, and where you're from. If you want to share any more of that, feel free. But what did you do before joining Shichunguko, and what would you say brought you back to the work?
What I did before is primarily in commercial banking. Actually started my career here in Mission at the Wells Fargo Bank as a business loan officer. Got to work with the tribe, a lot of tribal entities there. Then took a job as a chief lending officer at Native American Bank in Denver. Again, working with tribes around the country, still doing commercial lending. Then I got into private equity for a little bit in Dallas. It was okay. It was kind of focused on tribes as well there, but wasn't a great fit. Just I didn't like it. Started when I got to Native American Bank. Weezy Pa, who's CEO here, was always reaching out to me. We talked quite a bit about many things, and he's always trying to, hey, what can we do to get you back? And, at first it's like, I don't know, kind of like it in Denver and Dallas, but as he kept asking, I kept watching. I think my last load at Native American Bank was actually to Redco. It's kind of funny. We were looking at the documents when I got here and I signed it on the other side. But just seeing what was going on here and what Weezy and the team were building, Redco for its first 10 years or so, wasn't a whole lot of activity. When Weezy took over in 2012, he was kept building things and building things, but challenges came up. How are we going to address it, not stop doing what we're doing? So I was just getting really excited, like, wow, this is awesome. And the other big part of that was at Native American Bank was, seeing, lots of different tribes doing lots of different things, seeing a lot of them be extremely successful. But I remember at first, like, man, why isn't our tribe doing that? That second time I asked, it's like, okay, unless I'm gonna help do something about it, I'm not gonna complain about it. So, again, talking with Wheezy, looking at it, and it was like, you know what, okay. I think this is, something I could definitely, be help to help the team, help it grow, and but obviously do something for our tribe.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so in your role as CEO now, what are you most excited about going forward? And that can be in the next month, in the rest of the year, in the next decade. Anything that comes to your mind when you hear that question. What are you most excited about going forward within Chichanguco?
There's a lot. I could probably take the whole hour, just
Yeah.
answering. But in short term, and I know we discussed this more though, is opening the Rosebud Sioux Tribe's first medical cannabis dispensary coming up here in very short order. Um, but some of the biggest things are, we're looking at, developing, wind energy, putting an economic roadmap together, which goes really well with our Kea-Wapala development. We got our one house going there, going to be building two more by the end of the year for, sale to tribal members, and really start developing that. When I started here, there was that concept of Kea-Wapala, and, not a lot happened out there, for the last couple of years until we, really started working. Okay, what are we going to do? Getting that funding, developing a whole master plan community is not an easy task, as we found out. But a lot of hard work with our employees, investing resources and time into it, and here it is. So watching that grow is really exciting for me. As tell some of the team members here, growing up here. My mom grew up in Phoenix. We traveled a lot, Dallas and whatnot, and even sort of Rapid City. But the big signs over towns, like street signs, always, when I was a kid, related that to to a big city. And I remember always driving in right by Kea-Wapala as a kid, and I thought, man, if Mission had one of those, we would make it. And we don't have that sign yet, but that's where that development is. And it's just kind of a cool memory for me. And so really glad to see that happening. And it's that's going to be going on for the next, hopefully 10, 20 years to continue to develop out. So, really happy to be a part of that. And then, a lot of other things, we're continuing to try to grow with our local markets here. Our intern program just continues to grow and grow, bringing opportunities for, the local youth, which is awesome. And yeah, I guess you never know what's going to come around the corner with this. We do so many things. But,
Mhm.
it's all good and very exciting.
Yeah, I love that you brought up Kea-Wapala. I just had like a marketing meeting with them yesterday, talking to Chance and Amanda mostly, and it's just like amazing because I was born and raised here as well. And now that I'm a young adult, me and my husband, it feels like forever that we've been looking for, a place to call home, to really ground our roots with our children and stuff. So I just love having meetings with them so much because it gives me a sense of hope. It gives me a sense of, possibility for my kids and my grandkids. And, they really embrace that 7 gen vision that we as Chichonguko have and talk about all the time. And they're actually going to be our next guest, a little sneak peek for everybody that's joining right now. They're our next guest after you, Clay, in a couple of weeks. Okay, but we'll move on. So what challenges would you say keep you up at night? And what are you and your team doing about those?
Um, Resources, I would say, it's there was, a whole lot here, um, in terms of assets and whatnot that, Tribe started in Redco, mostly just, go and get it done. And that's, been our attitude, and we've done that. It's, a lot of special people that make that happen. Again, I'm extremely honored to be able, the leader of this team. There's a lot more than me here. Obviously, there's a lot of people doing a lot of things to make all this happen. It's not easy. Um, but what keeps me up at night, what has, kind of since COVID, is the potential burnout of our team. There's just so much to do and so many challenges that what people are so passionate about. We go out and get them done, and that's, I think, is kind of taking a toll. So one of the main things the CEO I've been working to do is, invest in the company, beef up our HR, beef up our finance, beef up that support so everybody can continue doing their jobs. A lot of times, when we first started really getting rolling, winning grants to make a lot of this stuff happen, it was, the manager or somebody responsible for getting something done, having to go out and get that grant, having to monitor that grant. That just takes away time from actually doing the work that it's meant to be done. So, we've hired multiple people in the finance office, the development team here, just to be able to make sure that our employees can do the work that they're wanting to do and they're passionate about. There's thankfully there's people passionate about finance and whatnot, but when you're out trying to do things in the community and build stuff, you got to have your attention there. So building that support, continuing to do that, continuing to get training for our employees. We got a younger employee group here. I like to consider myself somewhat young still, but with that, we got to have these opportunities for training and bettering ourselves, making sure people are ready when they do get into a management role. There's some companies do it really well, around here, this probably wasn't a priority. We're building so much, but now you're seeing that. What can we do to make sure that, our current employees, when they're ready to, be promoted or move on, are in a better place than what they were, but also, making us, a better place for future employees to come in, when the next generation comes in and takes over, have it built for success for them so they can, take it, well past what we've created.
Yep. Yep. I love that so much. And it's showing. It really is. Um, you recently had the opportunity to work with a highly skilled consulting team to develop a 10-year economic development roadmap for the Sichungu Oyate. Can you tell us a little bit about that process and key findings and strategy were from that?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity. Kind of came out of the blue. One of my colleagues that I worked with in Dallas actually met a member of this consulting team and was, telling him what we were doing. We're, trying to look at getting some energy work done, energy production assets going up here. And excuse me. So it started out on that, looking at, hey, is there a potential for that? The consulting team came in, really liked the team, worked with us for, I think, 8 weeks pro bono to help. But again, what was started as just energy development, but quickly turned into just, economic development for the reservation. Found, looking at a lot of the data, our chief economic officer, Michael Lapointe, was very involved, who's been mining this data for a long time, keeping track of it, of, where we're going. Sichungu has grown, when I started in 2017 to 25, had 25 employees, and I think we're up to 85 plus all our interns, creating new businesses, doing this thing. So a lot of great things happening, reinvesting in the company to do this. When we were looking at that though, one of the key things, which we knew before we got there, is the population, growth rate of what we're doing here. Most rural South Dakota is shrinking. We're actually growing. And I think, in 50 to 100 years, I mean, we could be close to, 100,000 tribal members, which, as you look at this now, it's crazy to think about that. So what do we got to do to, build a healthy, a healthy home for ourselves, healthy economy wise, healthy, just personally wise, and opportunities for people. So right now, what we are doing, what we have done, if we continue on our current growth rate, things are actually going to get worse based on that. This, in terms of unemployment, in terms of, GDP. So it's like, okay, we have to do something big here. So we looked at, what do we have available for us? There's energy production, bison production, and construction. Things that we all, energy, we're looking to get into, but bison and construction, things we were already doing. So I was really, glad to hear that, what we were doing, we were on the right path. We just had to think much, much bigger. So this consulting firm is still, about a year later, helping us out, pro bono, working on getting this done. We've met with, U.S. Treasurer Malerba, who's from the Mohegan Nation, Treasury staff, and working to try to get this funded. So we don't, I think in the next month or two here, we should hopefully have a really good plan on trying to get some of this going. But it's been amazing to work with extremely intelligent people, hardworking, that have exposed to a lot of things, got us exposure to markets and other places that we normally wouldn't have, been able to do on our own. But, what got us there is just what we were doing though. And so it's been awesome. There's gonna be a lot more to come with that. It's been great working with them and hopefully continue working with them for a while.
We love to hear it, Clay. I was personally, as a community, genuinely curious about that as well. So thank you for sharing that. And I'll do one more of my starter questions, and then we'll get into questions from our audience here, the participants that joined. Again, feel free to drop any of your guys' questions in the chat. We'll be getting to those very soon. One more question from me. I'm sure people have seen the job postings about PepsiCo, Rosebud's first cannabis grow facility and retail shop. Can you share more about that project? I know it is still a baby yet, it seems like, but I could be wrong. So
Well,
more
yeah,
about
it's
that.
the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Council, legalized medical marijuana, I think about a little over a year ago. And then we started working on, developing not only the dispensary, but the grow operations, which we're all doing. That's been under construction probably about 6 to 8 months now, and it's just about done. We have been growing during that time, obviously in less than ideal conditions in a construction zone, but we do have our 4 grow rooms going, and we had our first harvest last week. So we've kind of been, we have a consultant group. It's a husband and wife, tribal member here, and somebody who's grown up here, but not a tribal member, with a lot of experience in this in the Colorado market, helping us. They've been kind of handling most of it. I've had to go water plants here every once in a while at night when they had to leave town, which is pretty cool. But now we are starting to hire people since it's almost ready. Get them trained up. There's the bud tenders who sell it. There's trimmers and harvesters that will do it. Finance person, other things that will be growing, but now getting them growing and trained. So, we don't have an opening day set yet, but we will be getting there very soon. Obviously want to make sure we have everything set up the right way and doing it. But very exciting, looking forward to that. And it's, the company name is PepsiCo, which Pepsi is, grass in Lakota. And I think I've heard cannabis called that before. But I think the actual dispensary is going to be called Rosebud Gardens, and we'll have a logo out on that pretty soon. So.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, everybody stay tuned, like I will be. Yeah, just thinking about that logo seems cool. Rosebud Gardens.
Right, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
One of our
Well,
prototype packaging. So
yeah. Prototypes. Ooh, we got the sneak peek, guys. Okay, we'll jump into a question that we got here. I don't know if you can see it, Clay, in the chat, but I'm curious. What are Clay's thoughts on how small businesses contribute to our local economy and why it's important that Shichungu Co. Where'd it go? That Shichungu Co. supports small businesses. Shichungu Co. has gotten the farmers market started and does a great job in hiring local entrepreneurs for various services. So, what are your thoughts on how small businesses contribute to our local economy, and why is it important
I,
that Shichunguko supports them?
we're still one of the poorest counties in the country. In order to change that, we're going to need more small businesses. As being the economic arm of the tribe, we have some really distinct advantages that we can take advantage of, creating jobs, getting into markets. But we're really looking. I'm really looking. I know most of our team are how do we do that? There's several things kind of coming down the pipe here. In the CARES Act, one of the COVID fundings, there was a state small business credit initiative. Or the second version that put out was made available to tribes. The tribal council tasked us for getting that. We did get a successful application in. Had meetings with them with people from the Treasury last week on that, and Michael Lapointe was down at a conference on it earlier this week to get that going. What is it going to be able to do? It's we'll have to partner with other lending institutions, either banks or CDFIs, to be able to extend credit to to tribal members. But yeah, we're working on that now. We'll be able to, in the first leg of it, buy part of a loan that somebody else originates. But, again, so if it's a whatever, $20,000-$50,000 loan, we can buy half of it or more to, help entice these banks to come do it. Michael Lapointe has also really been working on, beefing up the tribe's credit code and UCC laws, which will help, expand that even more. But yeah, that's going to be a great way to, to get credit to our local tribal members, entrepreneurs, which will, it should hopefully increase it. Looking at the statistics of, lending to small businesses here, it's not very good. So hopefully getting that done. But, then we also look at other things like, our construction company. One thing we're hoping is, people, can come work for that, learn a trade, spin off, start your own, and then we can start contracting that out. We're awarded money to help develop an innovation center here. That's that it's gonna be a couple years down the road before it's built, but it's gonna be a place for entrepreneurs to come in, have a space, do that. And then we just want to develop more retail space out at Kawak, Paula. I mean, right now, if you want to start a business, there's not very many places to even to start it. You see that at the farmers market. You see, people selling things from their car or around buoys or whatnot. So, having those that space to allow these things to happen is what's needed. So that's, going to be a big part of us, going forward, continuing to help, try to help our entrepreneurs here. Tatanka Funds, our emerging CDFI, will be able to lend to them as well here soon. So yeah, it's going to be key for our, the economy to grow here. The roadmap with the consultants we worked on also, again, we looked at, what can Sicangu do and take advantage of what makes the most sense. And a lot of those, like the energy, construction, and that, when you look at those things start happening, the other jobs that are created with that, in the private sector continue to grow as well. So in our plan, we're looking to, create 10,000 jobs over the next 10 years. That would lead to full employment. It's a tough task. Not saying that we're going to have all those be jobs here, but it's created in the community. So it's going to be a big part of what we do is forever, as long as we exist.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the construction company, because didn't they just start, what would it be, 2 days ago? They just had their first day with their construction internship. So yeah, that seemed like an amazing opportunity in and of itself. I was trying to recruit my brother-in-law to go sign up for it. So yeah, that is an amazing trade that could make jobs galore. So we have another question in the chat. Rosebud was awarded $7.8 million through the SSBCI program. Can you provide an update on that and how the funds will be used? What should community members know? How can funders or investors ensure the program is successful? So the SSBCI program.
Yeah, I kind of hit that in the last thing there, but that's, we did receive our first tranche of that, and now just, working with the treasury to make sure, we're doing everything correctly. There's all the money that we got is just to, to lend out to, again, how we're doing it in the first tranche is, buying a participation in loans for tribal members. So we are reaching out to, area banks and area CDFIs, like Lakota funds, whatnot, to get them in this. So good thing, South Dakota, the first time they did the SSBCI, did do it. One of the, kind of a local bank, Bank West, was the primary bank for that. So I'm hoping to work with them, help them get more, small business loans in here to do it. But we will be having a lot of information coming out about that. Again, we need to make sure that we have everything done on our end, which we're just about there to be able to start executing on these loans. So more to come.
Awesome. And I do still have this question here from a donor who couldn't make it. She will be watching the recording. So one of our wonderful donors named Ainsley, she said, I'd love to ask Clay about the Lakota language preservation and education efforts. What's new with our immersion school, and does it have any events or programs coming up that you know of?
Well, it continues to grow. Like, we're going to have 42 students next year. One big new thing on that is the tribal council approved a resolution that gave the old Rosebud, or the well, current, let's say Old Rosebud Elementary School to the immersion school. We're currently in our building and on Main Street in Mission. We're doing an addition on it, but it's always been, if we continue to grow, this isn't going to last us for a couple more, for many or for much longer. So we have that to look forward to and moving in there, which is extremely exciting, allow us to continue to grow. It's an actual school. So that's a big thing. We also have Koya Waina, our adult language learner thing that's moving into its year 3 of its first cohort, working on how do we, those two programs work together as much as possible, and how do we expand that? So, other thing, I know we're received a grant to kind of look at, possibility of like an immersion daycare or something. So we're going to continue to work on that, continue to expand it as much as we can. Help from donors is, a big part of that. All the, the money that we get from our donors goes to our nonprofit activities like that. The business side of us, helps fund, like I said, expanding our finance department, our HR, our support services to do that. We don't use any donor funds for any of that. That's, driven through our own revenues and profits, but, keep helping, keep the momentum going, like with the immersion school and these programs, through the work of donors is great. So thank you everybody for that.
Yes. So, and a fun little note on that, actually. The immersion school, this is for the participants. The immersion school will be joining us on August 7th, I believe, is their tentative schedule to be doing their Ask Me Anything. So if you guys have any more questions about the immersion school that you want to know more specifically, make sure to stay tuned with our Ask Me Anything series, and they'll be right before the next school year, August 7th. So right now I will fully open the chat, or if anybody wants to hand up as a reaction, if they want to ask any other questions for Clay. Otherwise, we're good. Those are all the questions that I had and all the questions that were sent in. We'll give everybody a moment to ponder, and again, feel free to drop them in the chat if you have any questions for Clay. The floor is yours. Already we heard from John. I think I was in contact with you before, John. John's a great guy. What opportunities are there to develop workforce development efforts, especially around sustainability and renewable energy?
We got a lot in workforce development. This goes back to, before I got here as Wheezy, an initiative we did, how do we develop our own workforce? A lot of the, entities that we created, whatnot, finding somebody with that expertise usually meant having to bring somebody in from the outside. What we want to do is make sure that, tribal members are, ready for these jobs. So things that we've done are, another thing we've invested in is learning and development department here, which has several internship programs for our local youth, exposing them to all the entities that we have here. That is great. Again, I think we had 26 new ones a couple weeks ago. It actually crashed our router. Too many people signing on to the Wi-Fi network. It's kind of funny, but continuing to expand that. We have a great relationship with SNETP, Sicangu Nation Employment Training Program, I believe. Acronym for looking at that, and trying to obviously work with the local school district, St. Francis School and Sinte Galeska to help, keep expanding that, creating these jobs, but, just did that training for it. Tatanka Funds has done, I think, some, several trainings, things like that as well. Getting into the energy development, I think hopefully that construction internship can help on that. But John, we need to talk sometime, just on what we're working on with our consultants, hopefully is going to be able to drive that even more. So.
Yeah, that's an amazing question, John. Thank you. Let's see here. Yep, John's question. And then, of course, Clay, if there's anything else that you'd like to share, with
Yeah,
anything, again, it's
you know,
recorded, so other
yeah.
people, maybe there's questions we don't know about.
Well, there's one thing, I don't know how much I can give on it now. We've been working with Wollicota Buffalo Range, and that's, I think we're in year 3 or 4 of that. When it was created, it's now the largest indigenous owned buffalo herd in the world, which is awesome. But continuing to grow out there, improve the property. But now we're getting close to where we're going to start butchering that. So you're going to see something here soon on that. It's going to be pretty cool. Going to have a pretty cool story behind it. I was actually just on a call before this one about it. I can't give too many details on it, but another sneak peek of something that's going to be coming here very soon, which I'm really excited about. Other than that, again, out to Kiowa Paula, another one I hasn't been named yet, but I will say what the government agency said at the governor's economic development conference I spoke at a month or so ago, that another big announcement coming up there, going to directly impact Kiowa Paula and our ability to continue developing that. Hopefully we get that in the next few weeks. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming down the road here for us. Just continue to work hard, keep adding to our team, looking at our website. There's a ton of jobs out there. Most of them make either construction or at Pejico. But yeah, really, get these things off the ground, and continue to, grow on what we're at, and, see what new opportunities, keep coming down. The school, mentioned that growing, getting the new building, the CDC, the Community Development Corporation, just continuing to grow in its services. And as far as any other new businesses that we're looking at starting, I don't think there's anything too new of what we're doing right now. Just continuing to expand or build off of. So.
I think what you're talking about with the Wollicott Buffalo Range and the harvest that they did, what was that, yesterday?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Jillian from marketing, I think that might be what she talked to me and Aaron about. Super exciting. I wish we
Yes.
could sit and talk about it. I
Yeah.
really
I
do.
I do
Everybody
too.
on this call, stay tuned, because I do really wish that we can go deep into it, because that definitely put like a smile on my face. I think Aaron said wowzers after
Yeah.
Jillian was done talking about it. So but we got some talk from Carmen. Carmen had a question. Carmen Eagle Pipe. I believe she's one of our community members here. Where can she apply for the immersion program to help with Lakota language? So that I will answer both, apply for the school and apply for the adult learning language program, because I'm not too sure exactly which one, but we'll do both.
Everything that's open is on our website right now. I think we are doing some hiring for the immersion school. And I think there will be a position opening up within the adult learning program here very quickly. So sichangu.co/careers, I think it is.
Yep.
Is that everything's out there, or you can stop at the offices and pick up an application and look at it. But the quickest way is to get online to do it.
Yep, Carmen is one of our fluent Lakota language speakers, and she taught me Lakota at one point in my life. Carmen is a wonderful teacher. We love to have you here, Carmen. Thank you for your
Yes.
question. Um, and John asks, are there any opportunities coming up with the Turtle Creek grocery store? I'm curious as this as well, if there's any updates you have with our grocery store, any updates or opportunities
Um, one that
where that's at.
the deli's been shut down there for quite a while. I think we're still working to get something going in there. Hopefully like a community kitchen. Matt Wilson, our food sovereignty initiative director, is going to be leading that. So hopefully that's going to be coming down here very soon as well, getting that back opened. Again, not just a deli like it was, but something that we can help local people, work, local entrepreneurs work out of and have available to them. the innovation center that we're designing is going to have a much larger scale of that commercial kitchen for people as well, though. But that's, the main thing there at the grocery store. And, as, years go by here, just continuing to develop around it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious about that too. That should be good. I still love Turtle Creek though, so I still shop there. I still love it. Excited for, things to happen. I think I seen the blueprint not very long ago. I think I was in a meeting with Mike and a bunch of other people, and he shared like what the goal is for the innovation center. And can you run that by? Like, that's just a question from me. Can you remind me like all of the goals and aspirations that we want for the innovation center? I know you said a commercial kitchen, um, spaces for small businesses. Is there anything
Yeah,
else that I
it's
might
supposed
be
to be
missing?
a small business incubator, basically. We're gonna have probably some office space for our employees out of there, maybe even, other entities of Redco in it. I mean, it's gonna be a large building. For whatever reason, my mind can't hold square feet very well, and especially eyeballing it. I don't remember exactly how big it is, but it's going to be massive. I mean, looking at underground parking, whatnot. A place, hopefully Tatanka funds who have their offices set up there to be right there for entrepreneurs. And then, adding the staff onto that too, of looking at how do we help people, having some business coaches, having just whatever asks, things that we need. Hopefully, by then we can even offer you know, some sort of, financial support other than the loans, but, maybe, technical assistance, helping with accounting, helping develop policies, helping develop whatever, people need to help them, ensure they have a successful business. By then the SSBCI will be really up and running. So hopefully getting that going. We did meet Treasury last week. Again, we're just starting out with that, participation loans, but there are other different ways that we can do it, eventually start lending it ourselves. So we want to make sure that we're ready for that yet. Hiring on lending staff and whatnot just, wasn't feasible at this moment. But we're trying to get to Tonka funds up and ready for that though. So, it's not all set in stone yet. Again, we're still doing the architecture and engineer, but those are kind of some of the highlights. What's really great is, reaching out to, other people, getting advice on what we do, but with everything else that we've been doing here, we're doing it our way, the Sichangu way. It's not, somebody coming in, hey, build this, make sure, do all these things to be successful. Really looking at what does the community want? What's, what are the needs here, and continue to do that. The development of Paula, there's tons of community meetings getting input, asking, what does our community want? And taking that data and then developing it into what, where we're going with that.
Yep. I, as like a community member myself, always have so many KOL Paula questions, but I'll hold off for the next Ask Me Anything when KOL Paula team comes up. But um we can get more specific. I know we had a lot of our wonderful donors sign up for these Ask Me Anythings. They'll be getting the recording, and a lot of them were Food Sovereignty Initiative donors. Do you have any specific updates or anything that excites you? Last time you talked to Matt, maybe anything with food sovereignty within the year, maybe talk a little bit about the food summit. I don't remember the date of that, but I think it's next month.
Yeah, I know
Anything
Matt's
exciting?
yeah, that's the most exciting thing I know coming up on that is the second food summit that they're doing, bringing together, a bunch of community members and, sharing knowledge and, working to help improve the food ecosystem here on the reservation. I mean, COVID really highlighted that of, if supply chains get disrupted, what could happen to us. But even more important than that is making sure that we have, quality food grown here. That's, going back to the economic roadmap. I just think I just highlighted bison production, but it's much more than that. Having, we have our garden out there, we have, these grants to help people with their own gardens. Having that fresh food is just, so key for us, with the decades of, commodities and, poor access to food, and the harm that's done to us health wise, diabetes and other things, something we absolutely have to fix. But I love it when Matt or anybody food sovereignty, Frankie's done it a couple times, cooks for us with local stuff. It's so good, and I mean, there's nothing better than fresh food, and having that, and so it's in the summer here. Look forward to, but how do we do that year round? We will be, looking to get a new locker developed to process bison. And we obviously we have Lakota. Part of that economic roadmap also is how tribal members be able to have their own bison herd and help set up opportunities for that. But if we can set up the the locker to help people do that, I think that would be great. And then maybe even selling or to local restaurants that hopefully open soon. So that's, I mean, there's just a ton going on there. I mean, that's always going to be a key part of what the CDC does, just because it's so important to us. And yeah, there's probably a lot more that I can't think of, but
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
Anybody there that can make it to it, I encourage them to go.
To the food summit.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Aaron just let us know that that is July 26th. That's what I thought. I didn't want to be wrong. July 26th. It'll include workshops, panels, a film screening, and more. Yeah, Matt is just so passionate about it, and I love talking to him about things like that. Really quick, because John has another question. Really quick, how does the Rosebud Farm Company with Colby, how does she tie in with the goals of FSI?
They work
Of
very closely with that. So Rosebud Farm Company, we do the tribe has some irrigated pivots that they gave to Redco to manage. We have got those certified organic a few years ago. Continue to work on those. I'm looking to develop that even further, and Woolacode is also under that. So I know Matt and Kobe, Bub, and TJ, and Jericho, those two guys talk together all the time, making sure how to what opportunities Matt sees available. What are we going to need from them? What do we do on this? So they work very well together. It's farming's a tough occupation. We've had some success in growing that, but getting those fields into organic was big. So now we're looking at producing that, selling it, hopefully keeping as much local here as we can. We've looked into opportunities of like selling directly to the school districts and whatnot, or even as a, I guess, substitution, through the commodity program to get that to our tribal members. We've been able to give, I think, some they call it bison in a box on a couple, to people, and looking at doing, just expanding that to make sure that we're developing that food here and keeping it here for our people as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay. And then John said, and no, Jack, you can ask as many questions as you want. This is literally why we're doing it. It's all for you, John. What is the best way for a group of community entrepreneurs to partner with Shichungu Co?
It's a great question. I guess that it would depend on the opportunity. But talking with our folks at Tatanka Funds, or it's coming to schedule a meeting with any one of our directors here, which probably whatever that idea is makes the most sense. Feel free to stop by. It's pretty we got a lot going on here. Everybody's really busy, but people come in and out of, and just having those discussions, it's again, that's something I really want really trying to focus on. And again, with the innovation center, other things we're doing, making sure that we're creating opportunities for our community members, and this so this economy can thrive. That's going to be the way that jobs are created, is through the private sector. On that, we can't own everything. I don't want us to own everything, but just how do we support that? Again, looking strategically, how do we create businesses that will create the need for additional businesses to support. So
Yes, yes, yes. And then a question from Jace. This question, I think I'm also going to copy and paste it and keep it for July 10th when we talk to the Food Sovereignty Initiative. But if there's anything you know about it, Clay, have you looked into regenerative/organic methods for the garden?
we have. I am not the right person to talk about that. So July 10th, that would be the best part. There's a lot going on out there. Obviously, see a lot of it. But I don't want to say anything incorrectly or embarrass myself on, saying what those guys do. I know we have an amazing team, so yeah, I would come back for that one, or, reach out. There's Matt and his team, they're doing a lot. So, but I
Mhm.
mean, I will say this, on the regenerative part, anything that we're doing in ag, that's what it's about. How do we, being good stewards to the land? The Willacota ranch is that was a big part of it. We got a ton of funding, private funding from like World Wildlife Fund and stuff like that. And, obviously, they wanted to help the tribe do that, but it wasn't just, hey, get the tribe going that. It's what are, to help measure the effects of reintroducing bison, to the land, and I can't give you exact stats on what that, but we've been monitoring that, for the past 3 years there. And there's a significant improvement in the land and the quality of the soil, and everything, the plants that are growing out there. So, that's one thing. Again, putting our, the pivots out there organic, just being good stewards of the land. It's a 7-gen philosophy. How do we, make this place better for the next generation, and take care of Unchimaka? It's, what we have to do. And so again, everything that we do in food production is regenerative as possible, though.
Yes, I think I remember not very long ago, Erin mentioned that in one of our meetings that the people that came, I think they told us that it'll be about 10 years or so they were estimating, put the bison on there, about 10 years, we should see, a good outcome. But very soon they seen a really
Three
great,
years, no, it's
amazing.
it's ahead of schedule. I know that. And again,
Yeah.
I can't, I wish I had the exact measurements and stats to give you, but it's ahead of schedule. I know that. So it's exciting. And it's just that
Mm-hmm.
all those things, when you look at, traditional, things that, our tribe, other tribes have been doing, how we took care of the land, and hey, it makes it better. Kind of like, duh, we're doing this for centuries before it's,
Yeah, yeah. I think I remember getting like goosebumps as he talked about it. I wish he can share. But yeah, that is amazing. And I know they plan on keep coming back and checking the land and doing their super extensive tests and stuff on the land. So it'll be exciting to see how those statistics change and hopefully they get better. And it seems like we're already breaking the glass ceiling with that. Um, so we have another question. Is Rosebud Construction interested in partnering with an energy service company? Do you know?
Potentially. I'd say the rest of that question, you can always let's talk on that. It depends on the right opportunity. Um, we're looking, as I said earlier, trying to get more into, some energy production. We have to hire up more people at RCI to do that. But, right now the focus is going to be on the houses and whatnot out to Paula, but definitely something we'd look into exploring.
Nice, nice. That's good. And Rosebud Construction Company, they're under us, and they're also the people that build the houses for us, huh? It's all for full circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our own
Yeah.
construction team is building our own houses for us. We're all partners together. I love that. Let's see here. What are other things that we wanted to poke at? And I got another note here. Um, when we were talking about FSI and RFC, the Food Sovereignty Initiative and the Rosebud Farm Company. So FSI is planning to expand from 1 to 9 acres, so that they can have different regenerative production models to demonstrate what is possible for the community. And that's the garden, right? Matt wants to expand the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who we were talking to, but I was in a meeting with Matt and he said it is not an easy task to go from 1 acre of a garden to 9 acres, but that is the finish line that they had. That's the goal they have set. So that'll be super exciting. Again, we'll be talking with the Food Sovereignty Initiative team, and hopefully Rosebud Farm Company, on July 10th. So Jace, we will ask your question again there and see if we can get something more specific. The regenerative and organic methods for the garden. That's exactly the type of questions we do want to hear for things like this. But yep, July 10th, we'll have the Food Sovereignty Initiative. Um, what other topics have we not covered quite yet? Do we have any updates on the Shichungu Health Initiative? Like, have they started the home gardens and
I
just
know they got
anything
the
about anything?
The garden applications went out, God, I think I know it went out sometime in the last month. I'm not sure on the status on that. Our director, Katrina Fuller, is got a promotion within our company though, working on the Redco side here very soon. Exciting. The initiative will keep going and, something, until we get a replacement in there, we have, our team's gonna, band together, make sure everything keeps going, like I said, home gardens, stuff not, they work so closely with many other areas of this chunk, like, FSI, Wolcota and so, there's a lot of support there, but we obviously look to continue to grow that. And, I think the key to that is gonna be finding, how do we provide, services that aren't out there, and as well as continue to make, I guess, traditional, health things that just improve it for the community. So, we're looking at ways of, what's going to be the best way to make the most impact for our community.
Yep. Yeah. And as I asked that question, I just remembered in my head, I actually had like my brother and my auntie get a home garden from the Chichungu Health Initiative. And I think Ashley said that they planned their first garden was actually, I think, out to the juvenile detention center. And yeah, I think they made like a 56 or 58-foot garden out there for them. So yeah, they're definitely making strides. And we finished up our campaign to help raise money for it from donors. And yeah, that's definitely being put to use. I know my aunt shared a picture with me. She had like soil and tools and starter plants, and her garden just looks so cute. And I'm so happy for her. But okay, well, I guess we can have closings. Anything else that you think you might have forgotten? Otherwise, I think we're good. I think we're
There's a
ready
ton I
to.
forgot. We got so much going on here. Again, it's made possible by all of our employees. There's a lot of great people here doing a lot of great things. There's a lot more that we need to do for the community. And things like FSI and whatnot, donors, like people joining on this call, or really help make that happen. And I can't express thanks enough for that. So we can hopefully continue that. Again, we're showing that, investing in, our marketing department, our development department, to help handle that, again, to make sure that the people doing the work can continue doing the work. And, with, again, development department that is funded through Redco profits, not through individual donors, so that that money really gets to what, to the work that needs to be done. So again, thank you so much for your continued support.
Yep. All right. Well, to wrap things up, just friendly reminder to everybody watching this either as a recording or all of our wonderful participants that are here. June 26th, 4 p.m. every other Wednesday, we'll be doing these Ask Me Anythings. June 26th, the next one will be the Keowak Paula team. So that's our housing initiative. And yeah, every other Wednesday up until about October, we're going to have all different parts of the team. We had our CEO Clay here today kick us off. I couldn't have thought of anybody better. So thank you very much, Clay. And yeah, we'll wrap things up. Let us carry on with here on the Rosebud Reservation. It is very hot. We're going to carry on with our very hot day. Go check out the farmers market, hopefully. And yeah, so thank you everybody for joining. You guys will get the recording of this in your email if you want to rewatch anything you might have missed or wanted to hear again. And again, thank you everybody for joining.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll head out now.